All right, happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome on into the Raiderland Worldwide headquarters this evening, emanating out of West Texas. Glad you're with us. We got stuff to do. Texas Tech football rolling into August. What's your biggest question mark about Tech football going into August? Things that you might want answered, questions you have. Best and worst sports logos. That was the overrated, underrated, rated right question. Rangers at the deadline. Are you buying? Because they're buying. Are you buying what they're selling? They make some moves today, and an old Red Raider, Daniel Colomb, comes back home to pitch for the Rangers. All that, the NFL is back tonight. Chargers and Lions, and Brent Musburger will be featured on the broadcast. If for no other reason, we'll pay attention because of that. So all of these things tonight, but a lot of Tech football with you tonight. Whatever's on your mind, your questions, your comments. In three, in two, good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, the website. You start your day every day there. Raiderland hot links, questions of the day, our thoughts as we start the day. So check that out. And everything we do is archived at theraiderland.com. So make sure you go there. Everybody communicating, just like James giving us thumbs up, like the old days on Twitter and Periscope and everything else. United Supermarkets and Market Street, they support Texas Tech. They support West Texas. That's why you support them. Plus, they got, great groceries and stuff. The Reserve, let's talk brunch Saturday and Sunday. Looking for a great place to take your wife and girlfriend. Please, not two people at the same time. That would be awkward. Guys, the brunch there is great. And they have like man food too. Seriously, like tater tots with cheese and chili. That's brunch food. Pizza, brunch food. Onion rings, brunch food. They got it. Check it out, the Reserve, 103rd and Quaker. There's good people. And then Fire and Ice Outdoor Living, fairly new to the marketplace. If you are into grilling meats, smoking meats, seasoning meats, rubbing meats, watch out. Barbecue sauces, all sorts of cool stuff that makes life great in West Texas. You need to check out Fire and Ice. All right, down there on Woodrow Road, right past the new. I think it's right past the new high school. Anyhow, it's where it is. It's not hard to get there. Good people, check them out. They are doing amazing things in West Texas. So that's who's bringing you the show tonight. We ask you to support all of our advertisers, all of our clients. Easy to do. Go on Facebook, go on social media, Twitter, anything, their website. And if you love what we do, even if you kind of half-ass like what we do, but you want to keep your favorite media out there, not just us, go like their pages and then post on it and say, hey, thanks for supporting fill in the blank. Could be theraiderland.com. All the time we hear from advertisers, yeah, man, I just don't know. ROI, I can't tell if it's working or not. You guys can make that happen. I challenge you tonight. Everybody who watches the show tonight, pick out 2 or 3 people that advertise with us. It could be the Reserve and Fire and Ice. That's fine. They're both on Facebook. And go there and just say, hey, thanks for supporting what we do. We appreciate you. All right. That's where we are tonight. Your biggest question marks for Texas Tech football going into August. Now it gets serious. It matters. These are really practices that will determine the future of many generations of Texas Tech football fans, because either this team will achieve at the level that has been ascribed to them by NIL, or they will be typical Tech. Which one will it be? You tell us tonight. Well, actually, you don't have to do all that. I just want to know what your biggest question marks are about the team going in right now. And then for Texas Rangers fans, did you like the moves they made today? They get in Merrill Kelly out of the Diamondbacks. He's pitched his entire career there. You might remember him from the World Series. He was pretty good. They went after pitching. They didn't add a bat. Are you buying it? Let's get the comments rolling tonight. Thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street. All right. Cheers to you. And the comments are what makes this thing go. You guys know, for the most part, what I think. I want to hear what you think. Fire away on the United Supermarkets chat line. The most famous celeb from each team should announce the game tonight. That's really interesting because I wrote down on my little legal pad that we put together for the show, what would be the most interesting matchup, all-time best version matchup, Chargers Lions? Dan Fouts, Bobby Lane, uh, Barry Sanders versus I don't know current Chargers. I don't know. I was sitting there thinking, what if you were doing those computer sims? Like, how would you match up Chargers Lions? Chargers, the old AFL, Sid Gilman, who had a huge impact on the career of Mike Leach, by the way. And then the Bobby Lane Lions. Alan is on YouTube. That's not a drug, although it does sound like it. Son, we're going to have to put you on YouTube for 6 weeks. You understand, right? Only for $1 million for 2 chicks at the same time. Okay, first off, great reference, movie Office Space. Second, this is where we get into the whole you guys send in comments without context, and it's awesome. Timbo's down in I believe he's down in the Austin area. O-line really better. So there you go. What's the biggest question mark for you going into August for Tech football? And the second one I wrote down was O-line. Is it really better? By every metric, by everything we can look at, and the smart people that say these guys can play football, these guys are good offensive linemen, these guys are good, by every metric, they are significantly improved, right? By every metric. We'll find out when they play. Now, I have one more question mark in front of that, but O-line was the first one that I have going into August saying, all right, are these guys really going to be able to perform at the level that you expect based on expectations, based on money? Hey, it's a real deal now. It's a real deal. You're paying money. It's okay for you people to say, we're paying a bunch of money for this. Well, not you. Well, some of you maybe. But like your favorite baseball team, like the Rangers, like your favorite, whatever team, Cowboys, hey, we're paying a bunch of money for this. Are you going to be good? So, yeah, O-line gets my second check mark. James jumps in on Facebook. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. Please subscribe to all of our channels. They're all free, don't cost nothing. Watch where you want, and then share every time you jump in. Did Tech really improve the O-line and the D-line? Yeah. The D-line, I really have fewer concerns about the D-line going into August than the offensive line, because metrics tell me and performance tells me that it's a little bit easier to really look at defensive linemen and go, these guys can play, these guys can't, these guys have done it, these guys can be good. Offensive line is somewhere between art and science. Not arts and sciences, but art and science. I'm really, and if nothing else, on the defensive line, they'll just throw like 20 guys at you and stay fresh. If they're all equal in talent or fairly equal in talent, your two and a half deep defensive line, which is at any given time, it's a 4.5, 5.5 man front. I think Texas Tech may just overwhelm teams with fresh players. I want to see that. Alan jumps back in on the YouTube channel. You guys can get in thanks to United Supermarkets at Market Street. They put their name all over Texas Tech. It's really cool. They do a lot of great stuff for Tech in West Texas. Some stores around here take your money. They're happy to take your money and put it on scoreboards down in Austin. I don't think that United likes me saying that, but I can get away with it because I've been around a long time. Alan, the Rangers are going for broke to send Bochy out. With the title, Rangers bats have awakened, and they got relievers who haven't been worn out this year. All right, so we go back to the Rangers at the deadline. They're buying, or you buying the Rangers? Real quick thoughts on that. All right, good move. Go get Merrill Kelly. That's great. People will say they didn't get bats. What were the bats out there that you were willing to give up anything that you think would have made truly a difference for this offense? You're going to live or die with the offense as it is right now. You're going to live or die that you think Josh Young is going to continue to be healthy and hit the way he's hit since he came back up from the minors. You're going to continue to believe that this offense is going to be just a tick better, 0.75 runs a game better than what they had been the first half of the season. So where could you get exponentially better that would matter going into obviously August, September, and the postseason? And none of this matters if you don't make the postseason. It's pitching. So you go get a third starter. You got Eovaldi now, and you got DeGrom, and you've got Merrill. And really, I mean, Merrill, the way he has pitched this year since June, 2.5, I think, on the ERA. That was the biggest bang for the buck. Now, Colomb and some of the other, things on the back end of the bullpen, relievers, whatever. But for me, the dynamic has changed now with the short series, postseason, wild card, everything else, that you give me 3 pitchers. We used to say I need 4 pitchers. You give me 3 starters. I can do damage. I can absolutely do damage in the postseason with 3 starters. And the way they now stretch out the League Series and certainly the World Series, I've got more rest that I can live with 3 starters. So I can take Rocker, I can take Leiter, I can throw him in the bullpen. I'd like to see Rocker, I think in the bullpen. I'd like to see that more than coming in. But that you really, truly don't need 4 starters in the postseason. So now I've got 3 guys, if they're healthy, that I need to go out and get about 3.2, 3.5 runs a game, first five to have a chance to win. I'm almost talking myself into buying what the Rangers are selling right now. But I totally agree with the approach they made, that I don't know that there was a bat out there that they could have gotten. And we're not even talking about the guys they gave up, because they may or may not ever play and do anything. So I'm on board with what happened today and how they played it and what they got. I mean, Kelly's 36, but he has pitched so well this season. And I don't care about next year. I don't care about the luxury tax. Oh, the Rangers are over the cap now. The Rangers are over the cap. Whatsoever shall we do? It's freaking money. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, United Supermarkets chat line. Brought to you by The Reserve, a culinary tavern tonight. Brunch, Saturday, Sunday. You'll be glad you went. Fire and Ice Outdoor Living. Check out their Facebook page and just go to town on all the cool stuff they have. And then while you're on their Facebook page, just like for The Reserve, you say, hey, thanks for supporting Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Thanks for supporting Raiderland. Don't cost nothing to do it. Get your comments, questions in. The over-under rated right stuff today was sports logos. We got so much stuff going on. I understand if you don't want to get into that, that's fine. We don't have to hit on everything we do. And then the Hall of Fame game tonight, Chargers and Lions. Brent Musburger will be in the booth, I believe, in the second half. Absolutely going to be watching. Can the Rangers go 15 or 5 or better in August? Great question, James. So, James, people I pay attention to, Vegas Stats and Information Network and otherwise, and the celebrated Gil Alexander, who specializes in single month most win total bets. Which major league team is in the AL and the NL going to win the most games in the month? That's a bet you can make now. He has the Rangers. Now, part of that is the price you could get the Rangers 2 and 3 days ago. Part of that is the schedule the Rangers will play. But to have the best record in the AL, probably in August, you're going to be looking, and you're and 15-5. I think they actually have a few more games than that. But you're probably looking at trying to win about 16 games. Now, that's not me. That's a smart guy. That's Gil. At Beating the Book on Twitter. Tell him we said hi, by the way. Feed the ego. Tell him we said hi. We mentioned him on the show tonight. So can they go 15 or 5? I think the question is, can they win more than 15 games? The answer would be, yeah, they got a good shot to do it based on smart people. Not me. I'm not smart. Alan, I'm buying the Rangers more than I'm buying Tech football right now. Well, why are you buying the Rangers more than Tech football? We asked the question tonight. What's your biggest question going into August? And we still, none of us know. Nobody knows. We have formed a more perfect union. We are fighting this revolutionary war. And someday we'll have football teams practicing in August on college campuses. What will we call it, General Washington? Nobody knows. Will we call it training camp? Nobody knows. Fall camp? It's not in the fall. 2-a-days? They don't practice twice a day. We don't know what to call it. So it's like, all right, preseason camp. JC on our YouTube channel. Pitching is fine. Been needing Young and others to be themselves. Took a correction, all good on all. Rocker, long closer-ish. And that's a great point about JC right there about how you can utilize Rocker, I think, in a multitude of roles in the postseason, specifically in the postseason. He could be a 2-inning guy. He could be a middle 9-out guy, right? That you give him time to warm up like he's warming up for a start, that he could be a 9-out guy, and that's 3 innings. According to deep dive research, that would be 3 innings. Maybe not even 3 innings, but whatever. That I really think you can bring him to bear that way. Leiter is a little more, all right, you've really tried to groom him, not groom him, but you want him to be a starter, but he doesn't have to be a starter this year in the postseason. If we're talking about winning this year for the Rangers. So now there's another long guy, right? Or spot start, that he would be my kind of spot start guy. That if we need that fourth starter for whatever reason, I say we, and I don't mean we as a Ranger fan. I just mean as a Texas Ranger analyst or whatever. If you're the Rangers saying we need a guy who can come in and start 1 or 2 games in the postseason, I would think Leiter would be that guy. Nobody's gotten to my biggest question going into August for Tech football. We asked you that question tonight. We also ask you to do a couple of things for us. Share this on Facebook while you're watching, on YouTube, on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Invite your friends in, and then go to all of our sponsors. They're easy to find. Go on their page and say, hey, thanks for supporting media we like. Thank you for supporting Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. If they support and advertise on other things that you like, or you hear a show today or tomorrow, whatever, on radio or anything else, or on TV, go to their pages on social media. Every day when I talk to potential advertiser, I spend more of my time probably each day talking to clients and advertisers, trying to get them in front of you and this wonderful audience, and they're all the same. It's like, man, we do advertise. We don't know what we're getting anything. We don't know. How do we know that people are seeing it? How do we know we're getting a return on the investment? How do we know? You guys today can do more than ever. It used to be the old, hey, go in the store, and tell them I heard about it on Ryan Hyatt's show with that Don Williams feller, and we're here to buy some snow cones. You guys know what to do. But nobody's gotten my number one question going into August for Tech football. James, great logo. Are the Redskins and the Indians better when they come back officially? I think the Redskins will eventually come back. Man, the Guardians, the ownership right now is just like adamant. We're never going to come back. Okay, well, why not? Come on. Could I pass the is that David Collier, Chemic 28 sports director? Huh? I thought he was working. Could you pass the presidential fitness test right now? I have 2 badges, patches that we used to get, for passing it back in school. Sit-ups, nailed it. Flexed arm hang, I could kill anybody back in the day because I was skinny. I was skinny, but I had long, strong arms. Man, I could hang on that flexed arm hang thing and go for a day. Now, the whole run thing, you had to run like 18 miles or something on the playground to get that. I didn't want to have anything to do it. Could I pass the presidential fitness test right now? Why would I want to? Would be the bigger question. Why would I want to? Could you? All right, jump in, share this, invite people in. We got another 9 minutes or so left. What's your biggest question mark for Tech football going into August? As we hit August, as we hit the month of hope, the month of everything starting tomorrow, you will see video footage of Micah Hudson looking like a Greek Adonis. You will see video footage of offensive linemen stretching before the workouts and go, my God, how could anybody ever sack the quarterback? You will see unbelievable things out of Texas Tech on their own video channel, on their own YouTube channel. And none of it will matter. What's your biggest question mark for Tech going into August? What game will Morton get hurt? Well, that really is the $64 question, isn't it? You can't read this, but it says Morton question mark. Can he stay healthy? What will he look like as a healthy quarterback? We believe, we think, we have an idea. I still have people to this day, NFL people, college people, and I was visiting with one earlier this week. Say, hey, is Morton healthy? If he's healthy, watch out, the guy's going to have a year. That to me is the question. It's all about the quarterback, and that goes to the offensive line, doesn't it? Because I think a lot of the problems have been the offensive line getting your quarterbacks killed. But part of that also goes to, hey, why don't you protect the quarterback by not having him run, not exposing him to any harm? I don't need quarterback draws. You got 3 freaking running backs. You brought in one from USC, averaged over what? Like 5.9 yards a carry last year. How about this? Crazy idea. Don't expose your quarterback to danger. RPOs. Kiss my ass on RPOs. All right? Kill the RPOs. If you're in high school, that's one thing. And we'll send the next dude out. But if Morton doesn't start 10 games for Texas Tech this year, you guys are going to be disappointed. What do you mean, man? Humphreys is good. No, he is good. But if you're starting quarterback, if your QB1 does not start 10 games this year, you're not going to have the year you want. QB, is Morton going to stay healthy? Are the backups ready? It's not about him staying healthy. It's about protecting him. Don't do it. Question for Tech that became a non-question. 2 new coordinators, 15 new starters. Trump, any issues with minor scheme changes? What is on your mind as biggest question, sir? Well, I gave you Morton. Now, going back to the new coordinators, when you have 2 new coordinators and 5,000 new players all across the board, to me, it cancels each other out. Nobody knows anything. Everybody's learning new. So the whole team is kind of a fresh start. How quickly can they pick it up? How quickly can they execute it? Had a chance to do a lot during the spring. You get a freaking full month now. And I will say this, that every other team that's any good is in the same spot as Tech, that you've got so many new players that nobody has continuity anymore. The idea of continuity is dead in college football. There is no continuity. Doesn't matter. I don't think Morton been healthy since his junior year of high school. You've been coughing a lot or something? Yeah, some sort of croup. JC, he does get hurt. James except an ankle and shoulder. That's twice. He played through it. Shuck Freak was one getting hurt repeatedly. He a fraud. If anybody would like to make the English translation, please send $3 to P.O. Box 317, Pueblo, Colorado, to learn more. David Collier, KMAC 28 sports director. Per Evan Grant, Josh Young dealing with some calf soreness and getting some further evaluation, which is why he is out of the lineup. I did not see that he was out of the lineup tonight. Now we know he's out of the lineup, and now we know who wants to say it. Who wants to say it about Josh Young in a Ranger uniform? If he wasn't a former Red Raider, you'd say it. If he wasn't a former Texas Tech great Red Raider who led you to the College World Series and all that cool stuff, you know you'd say it. People won't say it, though. Had they moved him today at the break, I would have not been shocked. The NFC South has brutally bad logos. Which ones? The Saints logo is good. Which ones do we not like? And that's so totally out of left field with about 3 minutes to go on our best, worst, over, under, and rated right pro sports logos, NFL logos. I did not have anybody coming off the top rope, going NFC South, man. Look at those logos. That's a crappy conference worth of logos. I can't watch those games. Falcons and the Bucks bring back the creamsicles for the Bucks. They are bringing back the creamsicles. Falcons best one, red helmet, the black F, feather F logo. The Steve Bartkowski late 70s, early 80s days, the Grits Blitz during that time frame. They had really good uniforms. Now, of course, you guys know the uniforms for the Falcons were totally 100% modeled after the University of Georgia. I wonder why that would be. Their entire uniform looked exactly like UGA. Why would they do that? But it was actually a really good look. It was pretty good stuff. Didn't like it when they went to the black helmet. And then about, 10 years ago, they put on Texas Tech's uniforms with the numbers and everything else. And if you're wearing red and black, your uniform should always be good. Saints are good, says Chris. They need to stick to just the gold helmet. Old gold helmet with the fleur-de-lis and make that thing look cool. And then I like the 70s Archie Manning look. That's a good look. Jan, Redskins are the best. Which version of the Redskins? Early the Hogs, the Joe Theismann, Joe Gibbs, that era of the 80s. In the 70s, they had more of a yellowish tint. They had the yellow pants, in fact, and everything else. They didn't go to the Redskin logo till the late 70s. Well, they had the R. They had the Florida State Seminole logo with a spear in the 60s before Florida State did. They've had a lot of different things. There you go. Like the spear helmets, that was in the 60s with the Redskins. NFC South might as a collection be the best after the AFC West. We're talking logos, we're talking different things here. So West on the AFC, Chiefs logo, great, simple. Arrowhead, they've kept it pretty clean over the years. Raiders, love it, love the look, love the silver. Give me the silver numbers on the white jerseys with a black outline. The old 60s AFL style Broncos. Give me the Broncos of the mid 70s all the way through 1996 before they went to the Cyber Bronco. That's good. Chargers. I like the Dan Fouts Chargers with the dark blue more than the light blue. Everybody seems to like the light blue. I like the dark blue. If Denver goes back to Orange Crush look, AFC West would be perfect. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. That as a division, who would be better? We go to the NFC, the black and blue division, the Packers, the Bears. That they haven't changed. Obviously, Green Bay hadn't changed much since the early '60s when they went to what now as the Green Bay logo with the G and everything else. The Bears, no major changes. The Vikings, the problem with the Vikings is purple is hard to match. They need to go back to the '70s, '80s purple look, I believe, and gray face mask on that purple helmet in the darker purple would be good. Anybody remember when Tampa Bay was in the same division with all those teams back in the '70s and early '80s? Yeah. The Lions just go back to Billy Sims '70s, maybe the early '90s of Barry Sanders with the Lions would work. I think it'd be great. Andy, Tech wins the Big 12. We didn't even ask the question, and he's just saying Tech wins the Big 12. AFC North be the most traditional logos? No, not necessarily. All of those teams have strayed over the years and over the decades from their most traditional, and a lot of the AFC North was old AFL, you know, so that's different. The North Division, the AFC West. All right, you guys are pretty good tonight. We appreciate it. I'm going to ask you one more time to do a couple of things for us tonight. Hey, man, when we post this on theraiderland.com, share it, put it on your social media. Go to our sponsors. We got 3 great ones tonight. United Supermarkets, Market Street, on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever. The Reserve Culinary Tavern in Lubbock, great brunch. Go see us for brunch Saturday or Sunday. And then Fire and Ice Outdoor Living in Lubbock. They're all great on Facebook. Help me show all of our great advertisers, all of our great clients, how much you guys appreciate them. And you can do this every night, but I really want you to do this tonight because it also shows other clients and other potential advertisers that you guys really do matter. You really do care. You're really out there. If you run a business, you understand from a marketing and advertising standpoint, you write a check and you go, is anybody going to see this? How do I know? Well, you guys can make it known how much Raiderland can help and impact a business. I know it. Most of them already do. They really already do. But I want you guys to show that. So if you're watching live, if you're watching on the replay, whatever, hit them up on Facebook. Tell them thanks. You can see our clients and advertisers on our website, all the stuff we do. And I'll say one more time, not just for me, any show you love. Hey, KMAC 28, sports director David Collier. You see somebody advertising on that, you go to their site and say, hey, thanks for advertising with David Collier. Any radio show, around here that you like, go there and say, hey, thanks for supporting Rob Bro. Hit them up. Let them know. It is so hard right now in advertising for companies to know, to understand what they're going to spend their money on and the return they're going to get. I get it. We all get it. It's not easy. You guys can help the shows you love stay alive by doing that. And I believe you will. I know you will tonight. I know somebody's watching this tonight later on in the replay going, hey, Hyatt's right, man. I'm going to hit the Reserve and go to their Facebook page for the Reserve in Lubbock and do that. I know Andy St. John is going to do it. Andy St. John is going to do it tonight. Lord, I hope he paces himself, though. We'll see you in the morning. Beautiful Friday coming up. most Texan thing you've done this week. Get ready for that. We're going to go post this on the website. We will also on our social media feeds tonight at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter and on Facebook have our daily dose of West Texas. Got a cool picture coming up. And who knows what else we'll have out there for you. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for helping us have a great time tonight on a Thursday night in Raiderland. And we will see you at the Raiderland.com.